Are you sure you read the directions right? It's nothing like in the brochure. It said near the lake, not on it. Don't get me wrong. This is so much better. It's wonderful. Your own private island.
Welcome back to another day of Ghoulish Gallery. Now, today's episode is actually pretty weird to me. I actually, in the middle of this month, around the 10th, was given by a friend a free copy of Alan Wake Remastered, a game that I've heard about before but never cared about or gave the time of day to. And I went, well, I have it. It's free. And then I decided, well, we're in the month of Spooktober, so what better time than now to play through this? So I popped it in, played Alan Wake Remastered, and then, right after I finished beating it, that's when they announced Alan Wake 2. You know, I'm starting to get weirded out by this coincidence where every time no joke, in the past, every time I choose to get into something, that's when they start to do something new with it. Same thing when I played Luigi's Mansion for the first time and beat it, and then, no joke, the day after I beat it, that's when they announced Luigi's Mansion 2 on the 3DS. Anyways, that's a story for another time. So, with Alan Wake 2 on the way, and me having just finished it, we're going to take a look at Alan Wake. Now, what can I say about Alan Wake? I mean, when it comes to the game, it literally feels, and you can tell by some words they say, it literally feels like somebody wanted to grab the point of view of Stephen King, things Stephen King's been through in his life, and make a story out of it. And they do that well. I'm not even kidding. Stephen King's writing actually fits this game. Playing Alan Wake is like watching a Stephen King miniseries. And yes, I mean that in every regard. To the mystery, the weird physics, the typical writer character, the problems, even down to cheesy dialogue and a cheesy story with a cheesy way to finish it. Down to the way you stop this, and down to the way the character acts and the lines that are said. I mean, such moments like this.
It's not like that. That's not... Alan? Alan?
Just don't! I don't want to hear it! God damn it, Alice! God damn it!
I knew she wouldn't follow me in the dark. I had to teach her one
It made me view it as nothing more than just a Stephen King miniseries. If you like cheesy writing with interesting characters, then it's fine for you. I'm not even kidding. If you're a Stephen King fan, pick up this game immediately. It is for you. It has his writing all over it. And by that I mean the feel of the writing. But there were some elements I liked. I won't lie, I love the flashlight mechanic. I don't know, it just felt so good to actually aim and move around the flashlight, and wherever you looked at, he actually would look at too with the flashlight. And using light to burn away shields on enemies, and how light being a big natural part of the fighting mechanic felt amazing. I loved using flashbangs and flares and finding different ways to keep the light with me, to keep the creatures at bay. It literally grabs that fear we all had growing up of the dark, and how all the worst things live in the dark, and we use the light to feel safe and keep them away. It grabs that natural fear of the dark and our natural love to being in the light, and uses it for a really fun gameplay. So the gameplay is addictive. And also the narration he gives throughout the story, the little Easter eggs you can find here and there. I'm not even kidding. Whenever I found the TV playing an episode of Night Springs, I lost my shit and I loved each and every one. I mean, I'm a huge Twilight Zone fan, so that was such a treat for me. And I'll even do a quick recap right here. Maybe I missed a few TVs, but I only witnessed three of the episodes. I witnessed Quantum Suicide, Man in the Mirror, and the one about the plot hole where the guy doesn't know what to do. And I will do a quick rating of those right now. Number one favorite was Man in the Mirror because of just how much of a question it left on and how basically no joke creepy it was while watching. Second place is Quantum Suicide because it just feels like one of those classic, more cheesier Twilight Zone episodes that has a big wild twist in the end. And of course, last place is The Plot Hole, the one where the whole joke is just a guy writes in the plot of two girls entering the basement, but then just forgets what the story was and doesn't know what to write for the episode, so he just ends it there and says, screw it, this is going to be a plot hole, goodbye. I'm sorry, but of course I was getting in last place. Anything that brings me close to thinking about To Boldly Flee by Nostalgia Critic is most likely going to get a pipe to the knee immediately. But I love Night Springs. It was a highlight.
Are we men dreaming of being butterflies, or butterflies that dream of being men? Such philosophical concerns are by necessity abstract. And yet, some of us can find concrete proof of the nature of our existence in Night Springs.
The characters were also fun. Obviously, the only characters I liked were the sheriff, the waitress at the coffee place, and I really enjoyed your best friend Barry. Barry was great. Barry had the vibes of Joe Pesci just coming off him. He had the comedy, the timing, and they actually would have conversations, him and Alan, that actually made you believe this is an actual friendship that grew over time. They played off each other so well. And with that in mind, another thing that creeped me out for the game was that, I'm not even kidding, when I saw that one cutscene where it was actual real life footage of Alan, I immediately went, okay, that's pretty creepy. Why is there real life footage in this? And I grew to love it. I love the blurring of real life footage with the game. There will be moments where a real life actor as Alan will actually be speaking to the character in the game. And it made it more creepy and unsettling. Touches like that and a good cast of characters really makes it real fun to play through. But that's what I have to say about it. When it comes to Alan Wake Remastered, the gameplay is fun and addictive. I love the Easter eggs, and that's about it though. The story is just a MacGuffin where you just have, here's blank, no character wife that we must save. And that's about it, with a little twist in the end, which I'm assuming the twist in the end is going to end up leading us to Alan Wake 2 coming out. But it's just a cheesy story. If you want a cheesy Stephen King style story, then it's for you. Cheesy writing, cheesy characters, you will eat it up. But then I played something right before recording this, and it made me view the series all differently.
Why is this happening to me? It's too dark.
I was shocked to see after beating the game that when you go to episode select, there was something at the bottom that said Special Episode 1, Special Episode 2. And I went, oh, there's still more to play? So I played it. And wow. These two special episodes made me love the series. These two episodes were done so well with such heart and such emotion in the writing that I genuinely now want to know what happens to Alan now. This DLC made me actually get hooked to the character, bond with him at times, and even understand their vision they wanted with him. I'm not even kidding, this immediately made me go, well shit, now I might have to get Alan Wake 2. It made me think more on it, which is shocking. The DLC is beautifully profound. The DLC, Special Episode 1 and 2, it gives you a more personal story. In the DLC, Alan is no longer fighting some mystical creature. He's no longer trying to save his wife. That's over. He now has to fight himself and the darkness we all have in us. He ends up having to fight the real him. It's literally him broken, where the real him is breaking, depressed, lost. He's fighting the side of himself that hates himself so much that wishes he was gone. As the calm and collected thinking part of him is broken free, trying to get his way back in to calm down Alan and make him feel like everything's going to be okay. He feels trapped. He feels done. He saved his wife, but what does that mean for him? He's still trapped. All he has left is her memories to keep him warm, and even those start to feel more scary as he knows he won't see her again.
Hey, let me tell you something, Alan. I know how your mind works. You screw up, then you start analyzing it, and before you know it, you start writing all these horror stories in your head.
Come on, I don't do that.
Yes, you do. I know how it goes. You're a complete failure. I hate you, and I'll never forgive you for whatever it was that you did. Am I wrong?
Oh, man.
See? I know you.
The two special episodes give this deep, profound look on creatives and writers and the stuff they go through. There's many lines that discuss the fact that, yes, most creative people, writers, even people like myself who do these projects, we have this side in us where we like to live in that creative world. We like it to be our vice. When we get sad and things start to break apart, we start to slowly fade away as if our story of our life is like an actual story we're writing. We like to start looking at it from a writer's perspective. We start to go to our dark place and write these horrific tales because we start to lose ourselves. And the game ends on a note where, yes, this might even happen again. Alan might be lost to the darkness again. But either way, maybe he can always find himself in the end. It gave this beautifully profound note on creatives, writers, and how most of the time we are broken people that use our creativity to try to shield and let out the frustrations we have and the depression we feel. Most creatives like him and us go through horrible things growing up that make us do things in these stories that we put down on paper. And I love that Alan Wake's DLC took a look at that. It's a personal story. It's a full-on study on the character that lets you know more about him, stuff he goes through, and how even before this he wasn't that well off of a person. This is stuff now fueled by his own hate for himself that's now causing problems. He now must fight from his own shortcomings, from the own things he's done to his wife, and how he has to fight through that. He feels like he wasn't there for her like he should have. He feels like he focused too much on the book. And that opening line is still one of my favorite lines. That when you are writing a book, it becomes this fight, this strive where that's all on your mind. But the second you finish, or I'm going to rephrase here for people like me that do our own projects, the second you're finished the project, you then feel hollow. You feel dark. You feel aimless with no other direction. When you are not creating, you feel lost and you need a new project. And it blew me away. So in my opinion, the main game's fine for the gameplay, but if you want everything down to gameplay, emotion, and beautiful writing, play Special Episode and Special Episode 2, The Writer and the Signal. They are so beautifully well done, it actually makes me want to pay attention to the series now. I actually want to pick up the copies of all the games now and actually give this a fair shake. So, yep, that's all I had to say about this ghoulish episode of Ghoulish Gallery. And now I gotta go write something down. I wrapped up recording today, like usual. Sitting down, wanting to edit like I usually do, but after the topic and the subject matter we saw today, I had to write something down. I went to my old vices, the writing I used to do that I did growing up as a child that always helped me through such small and horrific things that have happened. It brought me back to the way I used to be and the way I always have been. My mind once again drifting into a dark thought, as I was trying to keep it at bay. As usually when left alone to my own creative vices, the thoughts get bigger, making me reflect on my life, making me realize how much of it I hate. I just fall through the old vices. How no matter what I try, I'm still in that dark place. No matter what I try to do, I still feel lost. Every time I try more and more to fight from what people label me as, I will always be what they label me. And no matter how hard I try, I will always fall back into that because they will not let me free from it. I will always be labeled as they wish, due simply to where I come from. I will always be the monster behind the shadow. I will always be the creature that exists just to hurt them. I will always be labeled as nothing more than where my DNA comes from. No matter what I try, I am still the one for some reason blamed for the fights, or the one they ring the bell for that causes the war. I always get these thoughts and try to keep them at bay. And then, sometimes once in a while, a beautiful song plays, rings in my head. Brings me back to when I was younger, when I took that leap with you. When I got to just be myself and let who I am be shown for the first time after years of being afraid to show it. I got to finally be myself and enjoy things and look at your warm smile to bring the light into my heart. But then I had to ruin that too. The memories keep me going, and the warm thoughts make me wish for brighter days. But in the end, I will still be in the same rut. I will still be what I am. Maybe one day I'll finally fight from it. Maybe one day I'll see you again, even if you don't want me to see you. One last time just to get a glimpse of your warmth. But until then, I go to my endless slumber. A slumber I always wish not to wake from. That will always, always be trapped deep within me. I am a creative. I guess some would call me a writer. For my ideas never shine away and always stay in place. These are what we are. We are creatives, writers, filmmakers, artists, and we all share the same curse. We all feel trapped, alone, and never satisfied. I am